Hi, I'm Toby. So, last time I started the solo run series with Snivy, and I think overall it went pretty well, but that was only with the help of a really good setup move. This week's Pokemon has only one setup move, Defense Curl, and a ton of recoil moves as coverage. So, this is certainly going to be an interesting run. Another thing that I have to talk about is the version that I'll be playing in the future. Since I noticed that the only differences between Black 2 and White 2 that can change the difficulty are the Heartbreaker Charles fight, that turns from triple to rotation in Black version, some of the trainers I fight on Victory Road change place, and obviously the Kyurem fight. And after analyzing these differences, I decided to just stick to Pokemon White 2 for all the future runs, since I think it's the hardest for solo runs. So, with that out of the way, today I'll answer the question: can I beat Pokemon White 2 challenge mode with only Tepig? The rules for the challenge are simple. I can only use Tepig for combat. I'll have other Pokemons for HMs, but I won't be allowed to use them in battle, except for special occasions. I'll get into that when the time comes. No items during battle, however held items are okay. And finally, evasion moves, items, inabilities, focus band, and the moves return and hidden power are banned. The last rule is more of a personal preference. I start selecting Tepig as my starter, no shiny this time. It has a lonely nature that boosts attack at the cost of defense. I'm fine with that. Tepig also has the ability Blaze, that increases the damage of fire-type moves at 1/3 of HP. I name him Spectre, after the character Harvey Specter from the series Suits. I don't have a reason behind the name, I just felt like it. I'll just skip the first rival fights since there were no problem. The only thing that really matters are the moves that Tepig learned in the way, which are Ember and Defense Curl. I give Tepig an Oranberry and trade the Cheren fight. He sends his Patrat, and we both set up 6 times. Tepig with Defense Curl, and Patrat with Work Up. I don't know if this was necessary, but better safe than sorry. After that, we went back and forth with Tackle until Tepig wins the fight. He levels up to 15 and learns Flame Charge, a fire physical move that raises the speed. I replace Ember and continue the fight. Next is Lillipup. Flame Charge does a bit under half, but Cheren is doing no damage thanks to the defense boost, so after 2 turns, it goes down. Finally is Cheren's last Pokemon teed up, but it also went down easily. After that was the Poison Gym, but the trainers were giving me some trouble. I had a plan though. I just need to train for a bit until I get to level 21 to learn the move Rollout, which with the help of Defense Scroll that doubles its attack, I can just sweep through. I gave Tepig a Citrus Berry and challenge Roxy. She sends Coughing, and I set up with Defense Scroll while I get hit by a critical Venoshock that does a ton of damage. I start the Rollout and it does a bit. She hits him again with Venoshock, and the next turn, a quick Rollout KOs her. After that, Grimer and Riddlepit go down easily to Rollout. I then went to the underrated gem that is Pokestar Studio, got the HM for Cut, and fight Plasma Grunts again. In Castelia City, I didn't have enough Pokédex entries to get the Eviolite yet, but I thought it wasn't needed for the fight against Bird. But surprisingly, it was a very hard fight. I actually decided to feint on purpose to get more entries and get the Eviolite, but it was still a hard fight. It took a lot of tries and some luck, but in the end I got this run. The first sense is Dwebble, my first obstacle. I used Defense Scroll to have a better chance at tanking hits, while he set up a Rock Polish to outspeed me. Dwebble hits a Rock Blast that lands twice, while I use a Flame Charge to do damage and raise my speed at the same time. He uses Rock Blast again to hit twice, and it leaves me in the red. Thanks to Blaze, then its Flame Charge also leaves him in the red. But his Citrus Berry heals him to almost half. I now outspeed him, and a lucky crit Flame Charge makes him faint. Terra Blast is then a one-shot with Flame Charge, and because I can now outspeed, Rivani is also a one-shot. Finally, Shelmet is also a one-shot. Now, the funny thing about this fight, and something that I realized only after winning, is that I actually forgot to equip the Eviolite. It would have been a difficult fight still, but way easier than what I got in the end. After that surprisingly troublesome gym fight is the first battle against Colress. It was no problem, so moving on. Elisa, however, is another difficult fight. The Emolga is way too fast and she can just paralyze me to make me move even slower. So, I went to grind. I stopped at level 37, because at that level, Tepig learns his first coverage recoil move, Head Smash, a 150 base power physical rock move that has low accuracy and deals half the damage dealt in recoil. For this reason, I decided to change the Eviolite for leftovers to get passive recovery. I still needed a few more levels, so I tried at level 40, and after a few tries, this happened. First is her Emolga. She uses Volt Switch to switch into Fluffy, and I attack with Head Smash. I leave it with 1 HP, so she heals, and I use Flame Charge to gain some speed advantage. Another Flame Charge is enough to get the KO. Head Smash then OHKOs the Emolga, and Flame Charge the Joltik. For Setstrika, I use Flame Charge doing like a third, while she counters with Volt Switch. I try going for Head Smash, but miss, and another Volt Switch leaves me in the red. Finally, a Blaze boosted Flame Charge is enough to get me the win. There's the usual stuff with the Plasma Bronze, but what matters here is the Heartbreaker Charles triple battle. I catch 2 Ezreals for the fight and challenge him. He sends his Tirtuga, Sigilyph, and Archen, while I set my 2 Ezreals and Tepig. An Aqua Jet from Tirtuga OHKOs one of the Ezreals. A Head Smash from Tepig OHKOs the Tirtuga, and both Sigilyph and Archen attack Tepig with Psybeam and Plug respectively. Azurill just uses Splash. Next turn, Head Smash OHKOs the Sigilyph, and Plug from Archen OHKOs the second Azurill. I'm really low in health, so I use Flame Charge on the Archen, thinking it'll be enough, but it leaves me with like a quarter. However, thanks to his ability Defeatist, he can't KO me with Ancient Power. So next turn, I use Flame Charge to get the win. On the way to the 5th gym, I fight some trainers and reach level 43, where Tepig learns his last level up move, Floor Blitz, a 120 base power physical fire move that has a chance to burn the target and deals a third of the damage dealt in recoil. With that, I think I'm ready to challenge Clay. He first sends his Krokorok, and even with the Intimidate, I can OHKO him with the new Flare Blitz. Onyx then comes out, so I use Flare Blitz and... oh. Well, that's a problem. Now he uses Rock Polish, so he outspeeds. He then uses Rock Slide, doing massive damage and flinches me. And now he uses Explosion to KO me. What am I even supposed to do now? I can try to relearn Flamethrower, since it's a level up move that I didn't even bother to learn because my Tepig is a physical attacker, but the move relearner is after the 5th gym, in the PWT. I guess I have to grind and pray for a burn, no flinch, and maybe a crit? After grinding for a while, I return at level 48. I can sometimes beat the Onyx now, but I don't deal enough damage to the Sandslash. I would need to be really lucky to beat both the Onyx and the Sandslash, like burning the Onyx first hit, not being flinched, not getting hit by a crit explosion, critical hit the Sandslash because I bulldoze deals more than 100 HP, and hope to have enough health to Flare Blitz the Excadrill. After trying for half an hour, I decided to grind again. I came back at level 53, and after many tries, I got this run. First, I OHKO the Krokorok with Flare Blitz. Onyx comes out, and a Flare Blitz does a bit of damage, but it also burns him. While this happens, he sets up with Rock Polish to raise his speed. He uses Rock Slide doing a bit of damage, and I use Flame Charge to increase my speed and do a bit of chip damage. A Flare Blitz next turn KOs him. Sandslash is next, and a Flare Blitz leaves him with a third of HP, so he counters with a Bulldoze doing massive damage. Clay uses a Hyper Potion to heal, and I use Flame Charge doing a bit under half. I'm forced to use Flare Blitz to KO him. Finally, it's Excadrill, and after leftovers, I'm at 48 HP. I know that Flame Charge won't defeat him, so I brace myself and click Flare Blitz, hoping for the best. It KOs him, and Tepig lives with only 7 HP. After that insanity is the PWT, but I had no problem defeating the rival, Jeren, Colress, or the Plasma Bronze after that. Next is the battle against Skyler, and it took a lot of tries, but only because I was getting unlucky. First, she sends Zubat. She uses Acrobatics doing some damage, and I use Flame Charge to gain some speed control. Another Flame Charge KOs her. She then sends her Ace Swanna. A Head Smash is enough to make her faint, but I'm getting a bit low in health. Sigilyph comes out, and I use Flame Charge to not waste HP while she misses a Hypnosis. Flare Blitz then gets the KO. Finally, is Skarmory. Flare Blitz activates her Sturdy, and she heals a bit with Citrus Berry while she uses Agility. But thanks to all the speed boosts I got previously, I can outspeed and defeat her. I get to Lantima's town, and with the help of the move tutor, I can replace Assurance for Superpower, a 120 base power physical fighting move that has the side effect of lowering my attack and defense. It should add some coverage to Tepig. In Umbrella Town, there's a fight against Hugh. I replace Superpower with Defense Scroll and leftovers for Eviolite for the fight. He leads with Unpheasant, and he likes to use Detect and Taunt, so I take the chance to set up 2 Defense Scrolls. A Flare Blitz is then enough to get the KO. Samurai is next, and I use Head Smash taking half of his health, while he uses Revenge leaving me below half. He then uses Aqua Jet, but thanks to the defense boost, I can take it. Another Head Smash KOs him. However, I'm left with only 9 HP. Simisage comes out, and thankfully a flame charge is enough to get me the win. Seeing all the downsides of using superpower on my way to the 7th gym, I decided to teach Tepig Iron Tail instead. This is worse for coverage, and it has low accuracy, but I prefer that over the lowered attack. The Insulin fight was a joke. Moving on, the 7th gym however is another roadblock, since I can't even beat the trainers before Drayden. Off to grind. I went back at level 63 and defeated a trainer, but the next one was a rotation battle and I wasn't dealing enough damage. So I trained and came back at level 67, just to defeat the rotation battle trainer and get walled by Drayden's Flygon. This is getting annoying. Level 72. I can now beat the Flygon, but by the time I get to Altaria, Tepig's HP is way too low. Maybe I could beat it if I get lucky, but there's still the Ace Hatsurus. I'm going to stop saying the level and I'll just show you the winning run. Okay? Cool. Also, during my attempts, I replaced Eviolite with leftovers. And finally, at level 80, after many tries, I got this run. First, he sends his Rodigon. I OHKO him with Head Smash. Next is Flygon. We both deal a ton of damage to each other, him with Earth Power and Tepig with Iron Tail. Next turn, he goes down to another Iron Tail. Altaria comes out and goes down to a Lucky Crit Iron Tail. His last Pokemon is Hatsurus. I use Iron Tail that drops his defense and goes down to a third of HP, but heals himself with a Citrus Berry. He then misses a Dragon Tail, giving me the chance to KO him with a Head Smash. Following that gym fight is a Team Plasma attack, but none of the members were a problem with my over-leveled Tepig. The bad news is that the next gym is Water type, and I can't beat it. Water types resist Fire and Steel type, so my only viable options are Head Smash, that does recoil damage, Takedown, another recoil move, Strength, a move a bit weaker than Takedown, and Superpower, a move that lowers my attack and defense. But I have something else in mind. I went to the move reminder and retaught Tepig the moves Defense Curl and Rollout. You see where I'm going with this, right? I initially made him hold a metronome to boost his attack over time, but in the end I found Eviolite to be more consistent. So, let's give it a shot. First is his Wailord. I set up a Defense Curl and he used Earthquake doing a bit of damage. Next turn, I start the rollout. I do like a third and he sets up a Rain Dance, so the following turn he gets KO. Caracosta comes out. Rollout doesn't KO him because of Sturdy, but he only sets up with Shell Smash, so the turn after I can make him faint since I'm still faster. Mantine is sent and he has the ability Swift Swim, so he outspeeds and uses Confuse Ray, making Tepig confused, but he hits through the confusion and OHKOs the Mantine. Last is Marlon's Jellicent. Rollout is over and I'm still confused. However, the rain is also over. I hit again through the confusion with Head Smash, hoping to get the KO, but it leaves him the red and heals with a Citrus Berry. He hits as cold and with the recoil damage on top of that, I'm left in the red. I click Flare Blitz and hope for the best. First, I hit through the confusion, then I KO the Jellicent, and finally the recoil isn't enough to make Tepig faint. Final gym down. I got extremely lucky on that fight. Caracosta using Shell Smash instead of Scald, Mantine not hitting me, not hitting myself with confusion and KOing the Jellicent in the end. It's not like I'm complaining, it's just crazy. After this is the whole Team Plasma Gauntlet. First is the Insulin double battle with Hugh. They send Cryogonal and Liepard. Tepig OHKOs the Cryogonal with Flare Blitz, and Liepard uses Night Slash on Hugh's Samurott while he misses an Aqua Tail. Insulin sends his second Cryogonal, but gets again OHKO'd by Flare Blitz. Liepard uses Assurance on Tepig doing a bit of damage, and Samurott lands the Aqua Tail, KOing the Liepard. They then send Weavile and Watchog. Weavile uses Night Slash on Tepig, but another Flare Blitz KOs him. However, Tepig is now on red health. Samurott luckily lands the Aqua Tail on Watchog. Finally, Scolipede is sent. Because of my low health, I use Rollout on him and do about half. He uses Steamroller on Samurott, flinching him, so the next turn I can defeat him. The next important fight is again against Insulin, but Tepig can one-shot both of his Cryogonal and the Weavile. Cold Rise is after, so I prepare by modifying the moveset a bit. I replace Defense Curl for Flame Charge and Rollout for rest. First, he sends Magneton. I use Flame Charge doing a lot of damage and he paralyzes me with Thunder Wave. Then, he hits with a Great Ball Switch, swapping for Magnezone, but as he comes out, he takes a Flame Charge that leaves him in the red. Because he's going to heal, I take the chance to rest and heal the paralysis. During the sleeping turns, he doesn't do much damage. When I wake up, I use Flame Charge doing a lot of damage again, but he predicted that and used Explosion leaving me below half HP. He sends Metank, and I don't risk it and I use Flare Blitz to secure the KO. I also use Flare Blades against the Clean Clank, but that leaves me with only 15 HP. EM is next, and I have to go for rest. First turn, he uses Psychic doing a bit of damage. However, the second and third turn, he uses Coal Mine, so when I wake up, I can KO him with Flare Blades. Finally, it's the Magneton again, but because he was already hurt, I just used Flare Blades to get the KO. First try. The fight against the Shadow Triad was no problem, Tepig just OHKOs everything. Afterwards is the fight against Kyurem White, but I just OHKO him with Head Smash. As for Getsis, I replaced Flame Charge with Strength to get a neutral move, and Eviolite for a Chesto Berry, to get immediate recovery with Rest. Getsis leads with his Cofagrigus and I OHKO it with Flare Blades, but he replaces my ability from Blaze to Mummy. Seismitoad is next and gets OHKO'd by a Crit Strength, and Drapion gets OHKO'd by Flare Blades. After that, Getsis sends his Ace Hydreigon. I hit with Strength and do a bit under half, and he uses Rock Slide leaving me in the red, but because of his Life Orb recoil damage, another Strength gets the KO. He sends Electros and I take the chance to recover my HP with Rest, and because I was holding a Chesto Berry, I wake up immediately. He uses Acrobatics doing decent damage, and the next turn gets OHKO'd by Flare Blades. Last is Toxicroak, and he also gets OHKO'd by Flare Blades, ending Team Plasma. On the way to Victory Road, there's the TM for Wild Charge, a 90 base power electric physical move that does a bit of recoil. It would be a great move to have. However, to get the TM, you have to get past a double battle against two very strong trainers, so even if I wanted to try and get it, I wouldn't be able to defeat them. Besides that, I didn't have any troubles with any of the trainers, but near the exit of Victory Road is the battle against the rival. For this, I once again taught Tepig the moves Defense Curl and Rollout. With this, the battle was really easy. 2-shot the Unfezant after the Defense Curl, 1-shot the Buffalant, 1-shot the Samurott, and 1-shot the Simisage. Arriving at the league, I tried for some time and I realized I finally need to get to level 100. Tepig isn't strong enough to beat most of the league, so I go to Grand for a bit and I use some rare candies that I found to top up his level. I also spent some time thinking of the best moveset and held items for each battle. In the end, I went for Leftovers as my held item, and Head Smash, Takedown, Flare Blades, and Flame Charge for the moves. Let's see how it goes. First is the Psychic member Caitlyn. She sends her Musharna and I use Flame Charge to do a bit of damage. But she sets up a Reflect, so my attacks are now doing half damage. I use Flare Blades the next turn and now it's not enough to KO, but I get a burn and she misses her Hypnosis, so at the end of the turn, she goes down. After that is Reuniclus. I have to waste some turns so that the Reflect wears off. We go back and forth between Flame Charge and Psychic, so when the Reflect goes down, I use Flare Blades to KO the Reuniclus. Afterwards, Metagross gets one-shotted by Flare Blades, Costidel gets one-shotted, and so does Sigilyph. 1 out of 4. Next on the list is Chantal. Cofagrigus is sent, but gets OHKO'd by Flare Blades. However, she replaces my ability to Mummy. Colork also gets OHKO'd by Flare Blades, and so does Drifloon. Annette comes out and uses Sucker Punch doing some damage, and I use Flame Charge to conserve some health and gain some speed. Next turn, she gets KO'd by another Flame Charge. Finally is the Ace Chandelure, but it goes down to a super effective Head Smash. 2 out of 4. Marshall is next. He sends Throw and I first use Flame Charge to do some chip damage. He counters with Bulldoze doing some chip damage too. A Flare Blades the next turn KOs him. Conkeldurr is sent and I again use Flame Charge to do some chip damage, while he sets up with Bull Cap, raising his attack and defense. However, a Flare Blades is enough to KO him. Sock is next and I use Flame Charge to avoid activating his 30, but it crits and activates it. To add to this, he counters with Payback and crits doing a lot of damage. He heals the next turn and I KO him after 2 Flame Charges. Mienshao comes out but gets OHKO'd by Flare Blades. Finally it's Lucario and I don't know if I have enough health to survive a Flare Blades. I use it anyways and luckily survive the recoil. 3 out of 4. Last from the Elite 4 is Grimsleep. He sends Life Art and hits with a normal gem boosted Fake Out, flinching me. Next turn, he uses Night Slash doing some damage and I use Flame Charge, so that Tepig gains some speed control. It leaves Life Art on the red, so next turn, he heals and I use again Flame Charge to maximize the recovery from Leftovers. Another one KOs him. Crocodile's Nest and lowers my attack for the rest of the fight with Intimidate. I use Flare Blades and it luckily crits, KOing him. Grimsley sends Crafty and a Flare Blade is not enough to defeat him, so he counters with Crunch, leaving Tepig close to a third of HP. I click Flare Blades again, thinking he will heal, but he doesn't, so he gets KO'd. The Absol that comes next also gets KO'd by Flare Blades. And last is Bisharp. but I have more than enough health so that the Flare Blitz can KO him and survive the recoil. The last opponent is the champion Iris. She first sends her Hydreigon. I use Takedown doing more than half, while she uses Surf doing close to a half as well. Another Takedown KOs her. Aggro in Scent, and I use a Flare Blitz that luckily crits, OHKOing her. Labras is next, and I use a Flame Charge to recover some health with leftovers while she misses a Hydro Pump. A Flare Blitz then KOs her. Archeops comes out, and I'm low on HP, but I still have to use Head Smash for me to OHKO. The result is that Tepig is left with only 67 HP. The Ace Hatterus comes out, and I use Flame Charge hoping that it will use Dragon Dance to gain some speed advantage. But it uses Earthquake, KOing Tepig. Unfortunately, this is as far as Tepig can go. I've tried this battle for more than 2 hours and I've only gotten to Hatterus twice, and both times with incredible luck, only for Tepig to lose to Earthquake. And it's not like doing the battle subway could solve it. The only TM that could be useful is Protect to get some leftovers recovering, but Earthquake will probably still KO, and any other item is useless because I need the recovery from leftovers, since all of Iris' Pokemon know a super effective move that would negate the recovery from Rest. So, that's it. Now, as sad as that ending was, I still had a ton of fun playing with Tepig. Even with all the grinding, the move variety led to some interesting strategies, and using attacks that have a high base power is always fun. And we even reached the champion, which I believe is no small feat for this game. Next time, I'll be using the last starter from Unova, Oshawott. He doesn't have that much type coverage, but it makes up by being one of the only 9 Pokemon in Black 2 White 2 to learn Swords Dance by level up, so I'm looking forward to that. It also learns some Ice type moves, so that can help for the champion fight. If you want to see more of my content, you can check my Shining Professor Oak Challenge playlist, that's on screen. Or, if you want to see something more like what you just watched, you can check the Solo Runs playlist, that's also on screen. Anyways, that's all I have for now. See ya!